Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, and welcome to the first episode of our series, What Happens After Death. Some years ago, we had done a series on death itself. This series will be focusing on what happens after death. So, in this first episode, we'll talk a little about what is death and what is Barzakh. In terms of understanding what is death, we've got to understand that our earthly existence is a means to an end and not an end in itself. Despite the tremendous progress that humanity has made scientifically, medically, technologically, life is frail. Life is frail. One car accident, one slip by the surgeon, one fall, and your life comes to an end. Our lifespan is like the duration between the iqama and the salah. Between the iqama and the salah. That's why when the baby is born, some scholars say that you give the adhan and iqama, all that is left now is the salah, the salatul janazah. In the grand scheme of divine cosmology, this worldly life is but a dot in the itinerary and the journey of the soul. So death is the ultimate reality. It's the ultimate leveler. No one can escape from it. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every living being, man, jinn, angels, will have to taste death at some point or the other. What is death in essence? It is the separation of the soul from the physical body. When the soul was blown into a fetus, it was considered to be alive. When the soul is taken out of the body is now a mere corpse. So death is not the end of the existence of the soul. Death is the separation of the soul from the body, which brings this worldly life, which we commonly refer to as dunya, to an end. Now we understand that there's dunya. We also understand that there's akhirah, the afterlife, which is forever. Dunya is temporary, it's fleeting, it's short in the greater scheme of things. Akhirah is forever. But there is a period between dunya and akhirah, and that is known as Barzakh. So every soul goes into Barzakh immediately after it has been removed from the body. Barzakh is a realm. It is an intermediate realm between dunya and between akhirah. Barzakh literally means barrier. So once your soul leaves your body and goes into Barzakh, you can't come back to the dunya. You can't come back to this earthly life. It's a barrier. But you're still not in akhirah. That's a barrier. Akhirah will commence when this world comes to an end, when the trumpets are blown, and when qiyamah, as we commonly refer to it, starts. Now, in the series, we will continue to talk in some detail about what happens in Barzakh and different levels, stages, conditions in Barzakh, whether it's more the soul that experiences Barzakh and the body, or both. The Quran talks about Barzakh. In Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah says, وَمِن وَرَائِهِمْ بَرْزَخٌ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. They now have to face Barzakh until the day that everyone will be resurrected, meaning when Qiyamah will take place. But in short, we should understand that a person's condition in Barzakh will either be a garden from the gardens of paradise or a pit from the pits of hellfire. So the actual reward is Jannah. And the actual punishment, Allah protect us, is Jahannam. But for those who are pious and believers, they will get an initial reward, a taste of Jannah in their grave. We normally refer to Barzakh as grave, right? Most of the times, the physical body is deposited into the grave. At times, there's a plane crash, there's a bombing, a person is eaten by wild animals, then there's no grave. So Barzakh does not necessarily have to have a physical body or a grave. It's primarily to do with the soul, but like I said, we'll discuss that in greater detail. However, this is the reason why we make the dua, because we commonly refer to the grave as the place where Barzakh plays out, that, oh Allah, make his grave or her grave a garden from the gardens of Jannah, Rawdatun min Riyadil Jinan, and not Hufratun min Hufarin Niran. So, that in essence is death and Barzakh, and the link between death and Barzakh. It's death that takes you out of this worldly existence, dunya, into Barzakh. Barzakh is literally a barrier. You can't come back to dunya now. No one can return. No one can return. And at the same time, you can't go into akhirah until resurrection takes place. We will leave it there for today. May Allah Ta'ala grant us the understanding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.